It's Friday, and the guys are live from Wright Toyota. Right on the corner, right on the price. Wright Toyota, located at 77th Street and Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard in Scottsdale. Now back to the guys on ESPN 620.
Warren for the 19th in Yamamoto. There's a fly ball in deep left center field. Headed back there. It is gone! Brown Jr. gives the Jays the lead.
Thank you to Fox for that highlight. His two-run jack the other night. It is Game 6 this evening in Toronto. We are going there right now. Our guest is Barry Bloom, senior writer for Sportico. You can find him on X at Boomski. That's at Boomski. The most important question, the hell with the game, Barry. The most important question, Barry. What outfit do you have on? What are you going in the press box tonight looking at?
I just have a green long sleeve shirt and a black vest. Well, you mean as Superman? Is that what you're talking about?
Could be
anything.
It could be.
I had to bring that one up with it being Halloween. Look, this is nuts.
Oh, I got you.
Sure,
all right.
Yeah, I'm sure Toronto is just going absolutely crazy about this. What do you expect the atmosphere to be like before we dive into the game?
I think it's going to be fabulous. I mean, I've been traveling back and forth from the airport on the train, and I ran into a bunch of guys who were coming downtown. Two people just flew in from Calgary today to wait online on a GA line just to go see this game. I mean, this is not just Toronto. This is like the entire country of Canada is in support of this thing, as opposed to like a million people in Los Angeles, and the rest of the country doesn't even care about the Dodgers or would prefer to see them lose. So, I mean, the magnitude of this, of the Blue Jays winning for the first time in 32 years, perhaps tonight or tomorrow, is beyond what you could even compare.
Barry, when you talk, we look at the games. I think maybe I don't know if the press has. You certainly have not undersold John Schneider, the manager, the skipper for the Blue Jays, and the phenomenal job. Number one, to take this team from the outhouse to the penthouse this year, take to the playoff. But the job he's done during this World Series, it kind of give an overview or a Cliff Notes version of how well he has managed this team to be where they're at right now.
Well, first of all, he's an amazing personality. I've only spent a limited amount of time around him. I think mostly when the Blue Jays have come in to play the Diamondbacks. This year they weren't even here. The Diamondbacks went there. But last year, I was impressed by him. But in the bright lights, the press conferences, this guy is a superstar. And to me, I listen to him and I go, you've got a career as a broadcaster once this is over, if that's what you want to do. I mean, he could be the Blue Jays broadcaster for the rest of his life if that's what he wants to be. He's so eloquent and well-spoken. And basically then cutting it down to the knife of what we need, when you ask him a question about his thoughts on what he did in the game, there's no one-word or two-word answers or snide remarks or you're second-guessing me. I mean, he'll give you a full explanation of what he's doing, and he'll come up with some quips too, like the thing the other night when he was questioned about, walking Ohtani 5 times in a row in that 18-inning game, and he said, they asked him, should you change that intentional walk rule? Right. And he said, well, no, there's some other rules that need to be changed, like you shouldn't let the pitcher hit. And it was a great line, and it just basically, put everybody else off balance. So what he's done, look, he's got a really good team. They put together his front office, Shapiro and Ross and those guys put together the type of team that they wanted. I wrote about this in game 1. They're a contact hitting team, and that's why I picked them to win this series in 7 games, because I watched them beat the hell out of the Yankees all year. And I figured if they could beat the hell out of the Yankees all year, they could beat the Dodgers. And teams are so myopic these days in what they're doing that they probably didn't even know what they had in store for them, aside from scouting reports in the Blue Jays, because they play on the other side of the world in the American League in Canada. So they had no idea. The Dodgers had no idea what was coming. But I damn well know for sure that the Blue Jays for sure knew what was coming when they were playing the Dodgers. So, I mean,
You got that right.
it's a whole thing right from the upper crest of the organization into Schneider on how they operate.
All right, Barry, now let's dive into some nuts and bolts, some X's and O's, if you don't mind. Yamamoto on the mound tonight for the Dodgers. He is there to try to save LA's season. He's been pretty much unhittable, but we have seen the bats really come alive by the Blue Jays the last couple of games. What do you see tonight from Yamamoto and the bats of the Blue Jays?
I just see more of the same from Yamamoto. He's just in a groove at this point. He did the same thing to the Brewers when he pitched against them in the NLCS. He pitched a complete game in Game 2 here. I don't see any reason why he should be out of this groove. The question will be whether the Dodgers can score 2 or 3 runs, to basically support him if he lets up one. But, he's what he does to the Blue Jays that the other Dodger pitchers haven't been able to do, including Ohtani to a certain extent, is that they know that he's going to throw pitches into strike zone. They try to contain the opposing pitchers to pitch in spots in the strike zone where they know they're going to pitch so they can hit him. What Yamamoto did in Game 2 was he just varied it. Places in the strike zone, they expected the ball to go. They didn't go. So the Blue Jays, I think, struck out 8 times in that game, which is very unusual for them because they don't strike out. But because Yamamoto kept them off balance from what they expected him to do, he was effective. And I expect him to do the same thing. And in fact, if the Blue Jays, after going over video and also dissecting Game 2 and what Yamamoto did, I fully expect that he'll make adjustments to go back against them too. So I think you expect him to really pitch well, and I expect the Dodgers to score at least enough runs to win this game and send it to Game 7 tomorrow. Then it's a crapshoot.
Bear, when you watched the Dodgers approach at the plate these last couple of games, it seemed undisciplined. Again, they struck out 15 times the other night, where you looked at, to your point, watching the Blue Jays only struck out 7 times. I mean, very unusual what Yamamoto does, but he did that to a lot of teams. The discipline at the plate for the Blue Jays versus the Dodgers is so much more profound. Has Dave Roberts said anything about that going into this game, these next game, about their approach to the plate, that being the Dodgers?
It's not something that you can correct in 1 or 2 games. The fact is that the Blue Jays have a way. They have a way of approaching the game, and their contact hitting and what they do to put the ball in play, especially the guys at the bottom of the lineup, and this catcher Kirk. He is has the lowest swing and miss rate in the league. So I mean, this is what they work on. This is what they practice, and this is what they've done all season. The Dodgers don't do that, and most other teams in the league don't either. There are a 3 true outcome approach to the game with exit velocity, uppercut swings, strikeouts, walks, and home runs. And if they don't get that, they don't win. And you can't make an adjustment to all of a sudden become a contact hitting team overnight. Plus, on top of it, I think they've scored 4 runs in the last 29 innings. They scored 1 run in the last 11 innings of that 18-inning game. So once you get into one of those ruts where they're batting 200 in the World Series, it's almost impossible to swing your way out of it. During the regular season, you have these ruts. Baseball, to me, is a very mystical game. When things are going bad, they're going to go bad, and then something happens and it knocks you out of it, and it turns. But you don't have that kind of time in a 7-game series. Once you're in a rut, it's almost possible to get out of it. So the question tonight is, don't make stupid mistakes like base running mistakes where you have guys thrown out at third base of the plate. Mm-hmm. Don't, throw the ball around like they did. They had 4 wild pitches in the last 2 innings of the game on Wednesday in LA. I mean, don't beat yourself, what the Dodgers never do. They look like the Yankees now from last year and all year for that matter, too. I mean, the Yankees make mistake after mistake after mistake, and you watch it and go, why can't you correct these things? Where's your fundamentally sound baseball? And the Dodgers don't usually do this, but they're playing with their heads up their butt now, and this is where they are.
See, that's why we love having you on the show, Barry.
We concur, Barry.
Commentary you don't get anywhere else. Yeah.
The Diamondback fans must be happy about it. What do you want?
So my final question is, roof closed, how does that change the atmosphere in the Rogers Center, in the dome there? Because a lot of times in the summer you play, they have the roof open.
Well, thank God they have a roof here. It's like 30 degrees out. I walked from the train station over to the ballpark, and I was freezing my patookies off, even with like a vest and a jacket and my gloves and my hat. It's like, hey, my blood's too thin. I live in Phoenix. This is like too cold for me. I grew up in New York, and that's why I got the hell out of there. I don't like this weather. But thank God the roof is closed. The roof was closed for the first 2 games. It's that time of year, and it contains the noise. It's like why the Cardinals like to have the roof closed for their football games, because it contains the noise out in Glendale. And it makes it even louder in here, although never as loud as what the Metrodome was like during the 1987-1991 World Series. That's the loudest I ever heard it in a building. And I think I wrote at the time that if you put in a Ferris wheel and a roller coaster, you would have an amusement park. That's how crazy it was in there. And, so I don't think it's quite like that, but it's still pretty loud.
Barry, you are our go-to guy for the World Series. Great information as always. We are envious, Barry. Have a great time at the game tonight.
Yeah, well, maybe the D-backs will get back here sometime in our lifetimes.
We hope.
Another shot over the bow.
We can only hope.
Yeah. Thank you, pal. There he goes.
Right,
that's Barry Bloom, everybody. Yep. You can follow him on X at Boomski. That's at Boomski, spelled Boomskie. He's presented by All City Towing. It's Arizona's largest towing company where your career can really take off, and they are hiring. If you're looking to change jobs, check out All City Towing. They pay well. They have great benefits. I'll just give you one of their benefits. They have a 401k match. Nobody does that anymore. However, All City Towing does. So all you have to do, just go online, allcitytowing.com, and search careers. That's allcitytowing.com and search careers. It's All City Towing. Your future is on the move. Quick break. When we come back, we'll do a little on this day and football at 50. And there is news. It is Roc Manuch with Jimmy B hanging out today, right Toyota in North Scottsdale.